The massive alien ships loomed against the pale blue sky of Nova Terra, casting long shadows across the dusty colonial landscape. Dae-sung Kim stood at the edge of the agricultural settlement, his weathered hands gripping a portable communications device. Behind him, rows of hydroponic farms and modular living units stretched out, humanity's latest attempt to establish a foothold in this distant star system. Most colonists would have frozen in fear. Most would have waited for official instructions from Earth's distant bureaucratic command centers. But Dae-sung was different. At 42, he carried the scars of multiple frontier assignments and a reputation for unconventional problem-solving. "They're not here to talk," he muttered to himself, watching the alien vessels approach with calculated precision. The collective ships were massive technological marvels, sleek, obsidian-colored structures that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Years of studying alien communications had taught Dae-sung one critical lesson: first contact rarely meant peaceful interaction. Nearby, Yuna Park, a young communications specialist, was already mobilizing the colony's communication networks. Her fingers flew across encrypted channels, sending rapid burst transmissions to nearby frontier settlements. "We're not waiting," she whispered, her voice a mixture of determination and controlled panic. The colony's population of 3,427 humans represented years of careful selection and preparation. Each settler had been chosen not just for their technical skills, but for their ability to adapt, to think beyond standard protocols. Mining engineers, agricultural specialists, medical professionals, all trained to survive in environments that would break ordinary humans. Dae-sung's background as a former military engineer turned agricultural systems designer made him uniquely qualified to understand the potential threat. He had seen how quickly technological superiority could transform into existential danger. The alien collective was known for its methodical approach to planetary acquisition: survey, assess, neutralize, occupy. "Prepare the defensive systems," he called out to the nearby team. No formal request, no bureaucratic approval needed. Just direct action. Within minutes, the colony transformed. Agricultural drones typically used for crop monitoring were being reconfigured as potential defensive platforms. Mining lasers designed for terrain analysis were being calibrated as potential weapons. Atmospheric processors became potential electromagnetic disruption devices. Yuna's communication network was already spreading the alert. Frontier settlements across 3 star systems would be watching, learning, preparing. This wasn't just about Nova Terra anymore, this was about establishing a precedent for human survival. The alien ships began their standard approach sequence. A methodical descent that suggested complete confidence in their technological superiority. They expected surrender. They expected compliance. They expected humans to follow established galactic protocols. They were about to be disappointed. Dae-sung watched the first ship break through the cloud layer. Its smooth surface reflected the colony's landscape, a predatory machine designed for precise intervention. But something about its approach felt rehearsed, mechanical, as if following a centuries-old playbook that had never anticipated true resistance. "They think we're predictable," Dae-sung said to no one in particular. "They think humans will negotiate, will hesitate." Around him, the colony was transforming. Ordinary workers became potential defenders. Agricultural equipment became potential weapons. Years of careful training and preparation were about to be tested in ways no one could have predicted. The first alien ship touched the outer perimeter of the colony's defensive zone. For a moment, everything was silent. A heartbeat of anticipation, of potential destruction. Then everything changed. Dae-sung Kim smiled. Humanity was about to show the galaxy something entirely unexpected. The resistance would begin now. The first alien assault wave met unexpected resistance. Mining drills that once carved through rocky terrain now pierced advanced alien shielding with precision. Hydraulic systems designed for breaking rock transformed into devastating impact weapons, launching with unexpected force against the alien vessels. Dae-sung coordinated from a makeshift command center assembled in an agricultural processing unit. Agricultural drones, typically used for crop monitoring, now darted between alien ships like angry mechanical hornets. Each drone carried modified sensor packages that could detect and exploit microscopic weaknesses in alien defensive systems. UNA's communication network worked like a living organism. Information flowed rapidly, with each settler contributing real-time tactical data. An agricultural technician would spot a shield vulnerability, and within seconds, that information would be transmitted and exploited by another team member. The alien collective had never encountered this type of warfare. Their military doctrine relied on predictable engagement patterns. Humans were breaking every established rule of combat. A harvesting laser meant for trimming crops now cut through alien hull plating. An atmospheric processor became an electromagnetic pulse generator that disrupted advanced alien communication systems. Suko Choi, a former mining engineer, realized their greatest weapon was adaptability. Where the aliens saw specialized equipment, humans saw potential. A water filtration system became a high-pressure weapon. Greenhouse climate control units generated localized energy disruption fields. The colony's defensive strategy was chaos itself. No centralized command, no rigid structure, just constant, fluid innovation. Each settler became a potential weapon, each piece of equipment a potential tool of resistance. Alien ships that expected a quick surrender found themselves facing a swarm of improvised defenses. Farming drones attacked with surgical precision. Mining equipment punched through advanced shielding. Communication systems became electronic warfare platforms. Daesung watched the battle unfold with a calm intensity. This wasn't just about defending the colony. This was about showing the galaxy that humanity couldn't be categorized, controlled, or easily defeated. The alien commanders grew increasingly frustrated. Their tactical systems couldn't predict human actions. Every time they developed a counter-strategy, the humans would shift their approach. What worked against one group of defenders failed completely with another. One alien commander, observing the battle from a command vessel, commented in their complex communication language, "They are not fighting. They are improvising." Another responded, "Humans do not understand the rules of engagement." The first commander's response was uncharacteristically uncertain, "Perhaps the rules are changing." On the ground, settlers moved with a combination of military precision and wild creativity. A greenhouse worker would suddenly become a tactical coordinator. A maintenance technician would transform a cooling system into an energy weapon. The battle wasn't about technology. It was about human spirit, the ability to see potential where others saw limitations. Each settler understood they were fighting for more than just survival. They were fighting to prove that humanity was more than just another species in the galactic catalog. Alien ships began falling. Not through superior firepower, but through relentless, unpredictable human innovation. Each defeat surprised the collective more than the humans themselves. UNA's communication network captured every moment. Frontier settlements across multiple star systems would study this battle. This wasn't just a defensive action. This was a statement about human potential. As the first wave of alien attackers retreated, Daesung allowed himself a brief smile. The galaxy was about to learn an important lesson about humanity. We don't ask for permission. We take action. The improvised warfare of Nova Terra had just begun. The news of Nova Terra's resistance spread faster than lightspeed communications. Hyunwoo Kang's encrypted transmission networks carried the story across multiple star systems, transforming a local colonial defense into a galactic phenomenon. Alien communication channels buzzed with confusion. The collective central command struggled to process what had happened. Humans, a species typically categorized as developing and marginally significant, had completely destroyed their carefully planned invasion strategy. On distant monitoring stations, alien analysts reviewed the battle recordings repeatedly. They couldn't comprehend the humans' fighting style. Traditional military analysis failed. The colonists hadn't followed any recognized combat protocol. They had simply adapted. Frontier settlements across human-controlled territories began receiving fragmented information. Small colonies started preparing, watching, learning. Each communication suggested the same impossible narrative: a small human settlement had successfully repelled a technologically superior alien force through pure innovation. The collective's leadership convened an emergency session. Holographic representations of various alien subspecies flickered in a massive circular chamber. Their discussions revealed growing uncertainty. "These humans are unpredictable," one senior commander stated, reviewing battle recordings. Tactical displays showed how farming equipment became weapons, how communication systems transformed into electronic warfare platforms. Another representative from a different alien faction observed, "They do not understand our rules. Therefore, they cannot be constrained by them." The implications were profound. If humans could defeat the collective's invasion force using agricultural tools and mining equipment, what might they accomplish with dedicated military technology? Hyunwoo continued spreading information strategically. Not just raw data, but narrative stories of human resilience, of unexpected solutions, of turning limitations into strengths. Each transmission was a psychological weapon more powerful than any physical attack. Smaller alien civilizations watched with a mixture of fascination and terror. The established galactic power structures suddenly seemed less permanent. If humans could challenge the collective so effectively, what other challenges might emerge? On Nova Terra, Daesung understood they had done more than defend a colony. They had sent a message to the entire galaxy: humanity would not be passive. They would not wait. They would act. Communication networks began linking human frontier settlements. What started as isolated colonial defense was transforming into something larger. A distributed network of independent human territories, each ready to support the others. The collective's next move would be critical. Would they attempt another invasion? Would they seek diplomatic resolution? Or would they retreat, hoping to minimize their embarrassing defeat? Alien strategists realized they faced a fundamental problem. Humans weren't just another species to be categorized and controlled. They were a variable, unpredictable, adaptive, dangerous. UNA's communication systems continued broadcasting. Not just defensive information, but a clear, unambiguous message: humanity was here. Humanity was ready. Humanity would not ask for permission. The galactic landscape was changing. And no one, not the collective, not other alien civilizations, not even humans themselves, fully understood how profound those changes would be. Nova Terra had become more than a colony. It was now a symbol. A declaration. A warning. The first true galactic ripple had been created. And it was just the beginning. The human frontier settlements transformed into a living, breathing network of collaborative innovation. What began as isolated defensive strategies rapidly evolved into a complex, interconnected system of technological adaptation and shared knowledge. Woon-ji Kim, a communication systems engineer from a distant mining colony, developed a breakthrough adaptive communication protocol. Her system could reconfigure communication channels faster than any known tracking technology. Within hours of its development, the protocol spread across multiple human settlements, creating an invisible web of coordination. Jaehoon Park's defensive network design took everyone by surprise. He created mobile defensive platforms that could reshape themselves instantaneously, making traditional targeting systems completely useless. Each settlement modified his design, adding their own unique improvements. The collective watched in growing alarm. This wasn't just a military response, it was a complete reimagining of technological interaction. Human colonies were no longer isolated outposts. They had become a living, adaptive organism. Communication happened at lightning speed. A technical solution developed on one colony would be analyzed, modified, and improved by another within minutes. Agricultural specialists became tactical engineers. Mining technicians developed advanced communication encryption. Medical researchers created biological adaptation technologies. One frontier settlement discovered a way to convert atmospheric processors into long-range communication disruptors. Another colony immediately adapted the technology, adding their own improvements. The speed of innovation was unprecedented. The human network operated on a principle the collective couldn't understand: complete open source collaboration. No bureaucratic approval. No formal research channels. Just rapid, unfiltered innovation. Hyunwoo Kang's communication network became the nervous system of this new human collaboration. Information flowed like electricity, transforming every settlement into a potential innovation hub. Traditional hierarchies dissolved. Everyone was both a developer and a contributor. Alien monitoring stations struggled to track the human network. Every time they thought they understood the system, it would change. Defensive strategies, communication protocols, technological adaptations, everything was in constant motion. The most surprising element was human diversity. Each colony brought unique perspectives. An agricultural specialist from one settlement might solve a technical problem that engineering teams had struggled with for months. A medical researcher could provide insights that transformed defensive strategies. Dae-sung Kim understood they were creating something entirely new. This wasn't just about resisting the collective. This was about demonstrating humanity's true potential. Not through military might, but through collaborative creativity. Smaller alien civilizations began watching with a mixture of fascination and concern. The human network was growing, adapting, expanding. Traditional galactic power structures were being challenged at their most fundamental level. The collective strategic computers began producing increasingly bizarre threat assessments. How do you fight an enemy that doesn't follow any recognized rules? An enemy that transforms faster than you can analyze? Each human settlement became a node in a living, breathing technological network. Innovations spread like wildfire. A defensive technique developed on one colony would be improved and redistributed within hours. Traditional research and development cycles became meaningless. Yuna's communication systems captured every moment of this transformation. What was happening wasn't just a technological revolution. It was a fundamental reimagining of collaborative potential. The galaxy was watching. And humanity was just getting started. Innovation had become their most powerful weapon. Collaboration their most advanced technology. The human frontier was no longer just a collection of distant colonies. It was a single, adaptive, incredibly dangerous organism. And it was growing stronger with each passing moment. The final confrontation arrived like a sudden storm. The collective's most advanced battle groups converged on human-controlled territories, expecting to crush the resistance once and for all. Instead, they found something entirely unexpected. Dae-sung Kim stood on the observation deck of Nova Terra's Central Command, watching the approaching alien fleet. Around him, the colony hummed with a quiet, dangerous energy. Every settler was prepared. Every system was ready. The human network had transformed beyond any recognizable military structure. No central command. No traditional hierarchy. Just a living, breathing system of constant adaptation and innovation. Each settlement was both a defensive node and an offensive potential. Alien commanders transmitted their standard surrender demands. Precise. Calculated. Expecting immediate compliance. Their communication systems were met with something they couldn't comprehend: complete technological chaos. Yuna's communication networks began their most complex dance. Communication channels shifted faster than tracking systems could follow. Defensive platforms reconfigured themselves continuously. What looked like random technological noise was actually a sophisticated, distributed defense mechanism. The first wave of alien attacks met unexpected resistance. Defensive systems that didn't exist moments before suddenly materialized. Agricultural equipment transformed into precision weapons. Mining technologies became advanced electronic warfare platforms. Smaller human settlements joined the resistance in ways the collective never anticipated. A remote water purification colony would suddenly disrupt alien navigation systems. A distant agricultural settlement would provide critical tactical information. Hyunwoo Kang's communication network became the nervous system of this unprecedented resistance. Information flowed like electricity, making traditional military strategies obsolete. The humans weren't just fighting. They were constantly reinventing the very concept of conflict. Alien battle computers began producing increasingly bizarre threat assessments. How do you defeat an enemy that doesn't follow any recognized rules? An opponent that transforms faster than you can analyze? The battle wasn't about technology. It was about human spirit, the ability to see potential where others saw limitations. Each human settlement understood they were fighting for more than survival. They were fighting to prove humanity's true potential. Woon Ji Kim's adaptive communication systems created invisible networks that completely disrupted alien coordination. Jae-hoon Park's mobile defensive platforms became living, breathing technological organisms that could reshape themselves instantaneously. The collective's most advanced battle groups found themselves facing something completely unprecedented. Not a military force, but a technological ecosystem. Every attack was met with an adaptation that didn't exist moments before. As the conflict reached its peak, something remarkable happened. The alien fleet didn't just retreat. They scattered. Completely disorganized. Their perfect, calculated invasion strategy had been dismantled by something they couldn't understand. Daesung watched the alien vessels disappear, a quiet smile crossing his face. This wasn't just a victory. This was a complete reimagining of galactic interactions. Humanity had done more than defend itself. It had demonstrated a fundamental truth. True potential comes from collaboration, adaptation, and the willingness to break established rules. The communication networks carried a simple message across human territories. No formal declaration. No traditional victory speech. Just a simple statement that captured everything. We are here. We are ready. We do not ask for permission. The paradigm had shifted. And the galaxy would never be the same.